evaluate that performance, Adam, compared to last week, for example?
Well, it's funny. It's a little bit similar last week. We played 3 okay quarters and just get smashed in one. So the first quarter just was diabolical. To only get 3 inside 50s to 21 or whatever it was, or 22, contested possession, which is a strength of ours, to go down in that by negative 18. It just wasn't up to AFL standard. And our boys knew that, and they know that. We spoke about it at quarter time. And the response was a positive. They had a choice to make, or we had a choice to make, and we expect to do the jumper proud every week. And from quarter time onwards, we did. Contest went up. We gave our forwards some opportunity, and we showed some fight. So that was a pleasing part of it. But yeah, the first quarter, like I said, just wasn't good enough, and we all know that, and we just got to get better.
How do you explain that, or how do you review it to ensure you don't get off to that sort of start?
Yeah, well, it was a blend of all 3 phases. Like we were getting, like contest was like, when I say contest, our clearance numbers were okay, but we weren't maximising ours. But then every time they won theirs, they scored. Then when we had a chance to win the ball and compose it in our back end, we were so scattered and frantic. And then our contest craft wasn't good enough. We missed tackles, we fell off tackles. And then when we had a chance to test the tackle and spend some time with the ball, we looked a little bit scattered and a bit rushed. So, like I said, that wasn't good enough. And we'll look at that, and we'll obviously keep coaching and training our players to be a bit more prepared for that. But yeah, the response is, like, we showed that we can do it for the remainder of the game. But yeah, like I said, the first part of it just wasn't good enough.
How tricky is it to get your players in the right mindset before a game when they look around the rooms and there's 17, 18 of their teammates injured and they're not running out with them?
Yeah, well, but that's my job. My job is, and our job is the 23 players that are fit and available. We've got a responsibility when we put the jumper on it. We had Noah Roberts-Thompson playing his first game. He has a responsibility even in his first game to do that jumper proud. So I thought he did, and our captain spoke about it in the jumper presentation around everyone else's responsibility to help not only make Noah's Day memorable, but we've all got a responsibility. So I think, like every club's going through, there's obviously different players. Some have obviously more on their injury list than others, or some clubs have. Right now, we've got a few, but game day is around performance, and we expect guys that are in the first game, which is Noah and Liam Forster, come in today, and Sam Grill's he's played a handful of games. We expect them to play a certain way. They might not be able to do it for 4 quarters, but they need to be able to show that they can do it. We'll obviously look at the reasons why we didn't do that in the first quarter, but like I said, the rest of the game they showed little glimpses that they can.
What is the latest on Campbell Gray?
Yeah, well, he's tweaked his hammy, so don't know how bad that is. He'll go obviously get a scan tomorrow, but once again, like I said, that happens. We throw a couple of players around. James Trezise goes back again. We've had to do that the last 3 weeks. One player's gone out of the game, and we've shuffled a few magnets. And then Trigger has a terrific game down in, like, shows that he cares, and he's a terrific teammate, and our players love playing with him, and he just does anything asked of him, and does it with pride. So yeah, there's those little stories within the game that are some positives and some shining light. Like Jonty Fall took another step today. Like, he's getting up the ground, and now that he's got Lynchy around him, so there's some growth within individuals. But like I said, as a collective, the first part of the game wasn't good enough, and we'll look at the reasons why.
Sam Cumming limped off late, and Nick Lostone looked pretty proppy after that area when we came in. How are both of those guys, and any worries about?
Nah, well, Sammy Cumming's a beauty. He copped the corky and he wanted to get back out there, and yeah, he's just such a tough kid. He's easily one of the. He's the type of guy that you love coaching, and not only coach, our players love playing with him. So yeah, his was a corky, and Nick Lawson obviously leads the way in that. He copped the knee to the back, and yeah, so he'll be fine. But yeah, like I said, we've got some youngsters that are willing to put their body on the line for our footy club, which is the type of character we've got. So that's a positive, and Sammy's one of them.
Where are you at personnel-wise heading into next week? Like, is there anyone you're getting back, or is it a case where you're especially after Campbell goes down today, you struggle to get a 26 together.
Yeah, no, but we do. We made the decision yesterday, VFL. So Samson Ryan didn't play, and Caleb Smith was available to play, but we kept him out of that game. We've got a 5-day break going into the Essendon game, so we had to manage. We'll give them a training session, so they'll be available. And I think we get a couple others. McKelty Lafau was just managed today with his knee, so he'll be hopefully available next week, and I think Jasper Alga is available. So we're getting some troops back. We get a couple back this week, and hopefully a couple more the following week, and then post-bye will be pretty exciting to get some of our high talent back out there.
Are you clear on what happens if you don't have 26 players to fill out a team sheet? Because you're one gastro outbreak away, heaven forbid, from that happening.
Yeah, well, we had to have those discussions going into this game, really. We felt like this is the game that was more at risk with that. Livo got on the phone to the AFL just in case there was an outbreak with gastro, because we couldn't put, like, Caleb Smith wasn't really realistically available for AFL. It was managed minutes and things like that. So we just had to make sure we were doing the right thing and what the process around that is. And so we know what that process is, but like I said, we shouldn't have to go down that path based on the fact that we should have a few back next week.
Have you had to identify potential VFL players just in the back of your mind, or you haven't got that far?
We
yet?
didn't go that far. It was just about what is the process and how does it look, and if we needed to go to it, if it's a 1% chance, and what that looks like. So,
How much impact do you think this long injury list is having on your capacity to develop this group and the pace that you're able to develop the group?
well, it's funny. I'll keep saying this. Like, individually, you need to be able to develop by playing. Like Samuel Lawler's walking around there. You can't get better by not playing footy. But as a group, we can learn. We'll get some good learnings out of the first quarter, and then we'll obviously get some great learnings out of the response and what that looked like. Our ball movement looked better in the latter part of the game. Our contest work went up. Liam Forsey hit the scoreboard. Like, younger players on what does work. He hadn't touched a ball for half a game. And in the second quarter, he responded in the right way, and he got up the ground and played a different role, and then gets a reward on the scoreboard within those adjustments. So, yeah, so individually there's guys that are getting opportunity right now that they might not have, or might not have. So there'll be growth in that. And then, like I said, as a team, we can still learn by sitting in meetings and understanding what good looks like. So, yeah, we'll keep doing that, and like I said, the second half of the year we'll get those boys back.
Are you concerned at all about the tackle Nick Loston on Ryan Burns from an MRO perspective?
I only saw a little bit of it, but yeah, he got back up and played out the game, and I think, yeah, it didn't look too bad. It's hard when you're tackling someone and you're in that motion. I don't think there was two actions in it. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
Do you feel like you're coaching with one hand behind your back because of the lack of players available? Like, it's very difficult to coach a team for 4 quarters at the elite level?
No, not really. Coaching, there's one thing coaching high talent and when you've got availability, but at the same time you're fast tracking. Like Tommy Burton wasn't on our list until he was the last pick. Our last selection in pre-season. He's been here for 3 months and he's playing AFL footy. I get excitement from seeing the growth in his game, and like I said, we've got younger players like Ollie Hayes-Brown. He's up against Tom De Koning and Rowan Marshall, two highly credited ruckmen. So he's learning on the run, but at the same time, we're fast-tracking our coaching, and we're looking at different ways to get him to AFL standard quickly. So you get excitement in coaching when you see growth in players. So right now, that's what I'm getting, and that's what we're getting as a coaching staff and a coaching group. We're not getting the wins right now. But if we maintain that and we maintain our training standards, those wins will come really quickly.
Adam, just a quick question on behalf of the Sunraysia Daily. Just in terms of Samuel Cumming, what exactly across the first sort of 10 weeks of the season have you really enjoyed about his game?
Well, he can play anywhere, really. So he's a terrific forward. His contest work and his ability to get to contest. So for a young guy, we've thrown him right amongst the heat of battle. So for him to come in and just look at home in the midfield has been a credit to him. So like I said, there's one thing on an AFL field, but the way he prepares and the way he trains, that's where he's got the respect from his teammates. So yeah, he leads the way. He's got leadership capability already. So yeah, he's on and off the field. He's a great character and a really good teammate.
Adam, you and Noah Bolton, you had a pretty, animated, emotional discussion at quarter time because he looked pretty frustrated in that first term. What was that about, I guess?
I just feel for Noah. He tries so hard, and he's trying to help our club as quick as he can, but at times that can spill over with just looking like he's trying too hard and he's losing his timing of his jumping. He come flying into a pack. He looked like he jumped 10 seconds too early. So his heart's in the right spot, in the right space, but he just needs to temper that and temper the timing of that, and he just needed to just take a breath. And his response after quarter time. And there was, like I said, it was a bit of a pattern with a lot of our players. It's not that they weren't trying; they're flying in for tackles, and it was just like we're falling off of flybys and missed tackles. We just had to be measured in our approach, and he just needed a reset. So rather than waiting for that to become a end of game discussion, his response was terrific again. Our boys love playing with him in there. He gets his knee up and really provides a good contest for us in there. So, that's all that was about.